Hey guys, I'm Jibbo's back here. We are removing a pump from a 4L60 e-transmission. I'm removing it and putting it back together to show you guys how to do it all. And the reason why I'm removing it is because my old green Silverado with the built 4L70 decided to throw the torque converter and the transmission pump. And so that's all the oil from it because it overfilled it from all the torque converter going to the training, and it overfilled from here, just leaking out. The reason I know why it went, or how, or whatever, why I know the pump and torque converter went is because oil on the floor everywhere, overfilled, no gears whatsoever. You can free rev it, and there was a little bit ticking noise of when it was running and spinning. This is my old training from the truck. It was shifting fine and everything, well-ish shifting fine, but it was still good-ish. But I'll show you, I'll put the video in of how it was ticking whatever in the truck. But besides that, let's start taking this transmission apart so that you can know how to do it and put it back together. Alrighty, so back where we were. First step, pull off your oil pan. And then second step, pull off this sensor right here. Pull this clip off and pull the connector right off. And inside right here, there'll be like a pin, like a slot thing. So you want to take something that can poke it out, grab it, and just pull it out gently. Try not to damage too much. Dang. That shot somewhere. I gotta find that. But then yeah, be careful so that doesn't shoot out and you lose it, because you need that. Then your sensor comes out. And then there'll be two 10 mils holding right here. This, your TCC sensor, which is your, whatever it is, sensor. But that's at least why I know what it's called. Pull that out. That comes out. And you need to pull that off or else you're going to break stuff when you're pulling stuff out. Alright. I do not know where that pin went, but do not make that mistake. There will be an O-ring right here on this thing. Looks like this. Make sure you pull it off or else you're not going to pull this pump off. And then there's 13 millimeter bolts all around this pump. Unscrew them with first a wrench, then go with a drill so you don't crack it or anything like that. And there will be seals in here. You want to replace these when you're putting the pump back together. And then I bought this pump. I bought the puller from Harbor Freight. It's not the exact puller you need, but it's a bearing separator in puller set. And it works great because or else you're going to be, you can order it and it'll come in a few days later. So I just went to Harbor Freight and picked it up same day. And so I'm going to start over because I kind of did the video wrong. But you want to kind of grind down these edges right here on this thing because for bearing, because you don't want it to gouge into your pump. And snug these bolts because if you tighten too much, they're going to cut into your pump and you don't want that. And you know how the setup is. And then make sure, so I have a big socket, 7/16, on this tip right here, because this tip will go into here, into the tranny, and you don't want that to go in there or else it'll break stuff. So the 7/16 fits right over it nicely, and you put it in, right over it, tighten it down, and then after you unscrewed everything, and hopefully I showed everything, you unscrewed all of those sensors, these two sensors, and unscrew the bolts. After that, and you snug this all, I'll show you how it comes out. And then after you just tighten it down a little bit, start screwing it in, and you'll see the pump start to come out. It comes out very simply. Sometimes it's a bit difficult, sometimes it'll get harder the more you keep twisting and getting it out. I'd go with a little bit bigger socket because it seems to be riding off this edge, but it keeps coming out. Yeah, see, this thing's about to pop off. But yeah, just fix it a little bit. Ugh. And just keep it going. Let me get a bigger socket on there real quick. Alright, got a little bit bigger socket. It actually won't matter. Just realize I'm doing this with one hand, so kind of hard. With two hands, much better. There is a way to pull off this pump without this puller, which is you just take a screwdriver, push it through this pump right here. You can see this is the pump right here. and right here also, but you gotta be very careful, and it's kind of just sketchy to do it that way. But you take this puller, it's only like 50 bucks, Harbor Freight, keep it going, and your thing will come out soon. You can also do it with a drill, but it's kind of safer with a wrench. Here, let me just get this pump out. Alrighty, after you completely get it out and you know it's loose, just grab it, pull it out gently, don't drop it, and put it on your table on a clean spot. And as you can see, you know, this transmission is kind of toasted. This hull is there, all the clutches, and that's the rest. But your pump is out. And then you kind of repeat the process. I'll show you. And you gotta, let's say this is your new pump, and this is not on it. I'm gonna take it off real quick. Alrighty. After the pulls, let's say this is your brand new pump, but I took out the puller and everything, and I said to grind these down if you use this puller, because it kind of gouges your pumping, and you don't want that. Pretend this is your new pump, and everything's fine, brand new. This plastic piece will sit in the transmission right down there on the clutch. You want to make sure you get that old one out and put it on the new one. If the new one has it, great. If the new one doesn't have it, put it on. And get assembly grease, put it on it so that it can stay, or else it keep falling. These O-rings are here, kind of pain in the butt, so you just gotta try and kind of like diggle with it, I guess you could say. But this O-ring, the 460s have it. Supposedly the 470s don't have it, at least if I'm right. But get this pump. As I said right there, it's gonna fall. Let me pop it on real quick. Alrighty, after you got the new one on and everything, take your pump, you kind of pop it in where the bolt holes align. So they align, and it's like kind of first drop in. Take your screwdriver, put it in the right hole, one of the right holes, and kind of just like slowly drop your torque motor in so that it can match with the bolt holes and everything. And that should be good there. And then what I usually did is I take a bolt, and you want to first take a rubber hammer, hit it down slightly so it sits down a little bit, and then I'll show you next. I kind of put it in the wrong spot. Bolt holes, there's like a few of them. If it's the wrong spot, it won't match up. So after you got in the right spot, push it down a little bit. And then I took a little bit extra long bolt, and I just popped it in one of the holes. And what you want to do first is just take a rubber hammer and just gently tap it in these corners just so it sits down a little bit deeper, which is like this. You just want to make sure so it sits in all the way. After it sits in a little bit more, you take that bolt. I mean, it's not the exact proper way to do it, but it's how I do it. But you take that bolt, and then take a drill, slowly screw it in with it. After you screw it in just slightly, like how I did, because you don't want to crack your pump, you go to the next side. You screw this one in slightly too. You can see it goes in a little bit. Then go right back to your side, the other side. Screw it in a little bit more. You see it goes in a little bit more. You take your old bolt, or the bolt that's supposed to put here, and when you see that the thing is sitting close enough, you see the bolt sticking out a little bit more, and that's how you know you're good. Again, a little bit more you do every time. Just gonna show you the whole process of this a little bit quicker. A few snugs at a time, gently with it so you don't break it. And then you gotta go buy a new pump. Like I said, pretend this is a new pump. Gently. And then after, you see very slight movement, go to this different side. That goes in, because they'll stop going in after you keep doing like that. So you got to go crisscross again now. After that went in, go back to this side and keep doing that till you get flush. Alrighty, well, you don't need to get this thing to completely flush, but with just that bolt. So like I said, that one bolt, now it's sticking out a little bit. Grab pretty much almost all of them. You just, put the X ones in, and then watch them, let the pump go in slowly. Well, this side's not in all the way, I guess. It's not close yet. Tap with a little hammer. You want to probably take your tool, put it in there. It went in pretty good. And that bolt's now sticking out. So you're pretty much done with that bolt. That one's in. That one's in. That one's in. That one's in. And now it's sitting in deeper by deeper slowly. Sitting in deeper slowly at a time. Because you want this thing to be flush. And you want to be kind of gentle on your O-ring out here, if there's an O-ring. So, and put assembly grease on it so it slides in better and not tears into pieces. Just want to snug it. That's all you want to do. As you can see now, it's pretty much flushing. And let's say you have a new O-ring, right? You put it back onto right here where you got it from. Slides right back down right to here. And then you take your torque wrench, if you have a torque wrench, which is, I bought this from Harbor Freight and it's pretty good. You want it to be set at pretty much 20 foot-pounds of torque. Take your extension. Let me set this up real quick. Alrighty. Get your torque wrench and set it to 20 foot-pounds of torque, right about there. That seems to be great. And make sure all your bolts are snuggish. So you just want to make sure they're all good, and you don't have to tighten them by the wrench for like a minute. Make the job just a bit quicker. Take your torque wrench, make sure it's set to 20 foot-pounds, and torque it in an X of the pump till you hear the click. That's torqued. That's one. That's two already. Now let's go up. It was first sideways, now we're going up. So you set it in straight so it doesn't crack it. That's two, three. 4. 5. 6. And there's 7 bolts here. All right, 3. Yes, 7 bolts. That's torqued. All of them are torqued. Go just double check it all again. Torqued. Torqued. And don't forget about those O-rings on those bolts, because if you don't replace them, it will leak. And you don't want it to leak. And all of these bolts are torqued, which is great. And then you take your oil filter, and after you put all your sensors back on, which is, I forgot to do that. But put all your sensors on, your 210 millimeter bolts, and you torque these to, I think it was 8 pounds. Let me just double check. Alrighty, sorry that the phone is a bit crooked, but your TCC solenoid, which is this one actually, that one up there, you want to make sure that your bolts are all snugged in also right here. Make sure they're all good, like how I forgot to. But make sure I'll snug in by hand. And you do torque it to 8 foot-pounds of torque. At least that's what the manual said. If I'm right, that's 8 foot-pounds of torque. And set your torque wrench to 8 foot-pounds of torque. And then set that your torque wrench to 8 foot-pounds of torque. And you torque it down, as mine is already torqued. And then after it's torqued, you take your sensor and make sure you do not lose a clip. You want to replace the O-rings on both of them, as I'm not, but because this is my test dummy training. And put a clip back in, the one I lost. Sorry, the phone is a bit blurry, but after everything's torqued in, you put the oil pan. And I forgot one more thing. Before you pour it back together, don't forget to put your filter back on. Forgot that. That pretty much just clips right in. And yeah, then everything is torqued and all good. But that's all good to go. That oil pan back on, double check everything, and pop it back in. But that is it. I'm sorry if I did a few stuff wrong, but that's what I know of. But that's how I'm pulling the pump off, and yeah, that's how I'm changing my pump out. But good luck to you.